Good morning. It's April the 11th, 6:34 a.m. Some of you are just getting around to head to work. Some of you have been at work all night and are ready to go crawl into bed or have a little nightcap. Sorry for the picture quality, but it's more important to me that you can hear me. I'm doing this on my laptop. It doesn't have apparently the greatest camera in the world, but I don't have another camera other than my iPhone, and that's just a pain. So I'm going to do it here. As few of you know, the majority of you may not, but certainly some of you know, April 10th started National 911 Telecommunicator Appreciation Week. Just like other weeks where we have the Police Officer Appreciation Week and Firefighter Appreciation Week, we have a 911 Telecommunicator Appreciation Week. I don't have anything scripted that I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to try to make it brief. But those of you that know me best know that brief is not something that I do well, so I'm going to do my best. 15 years ago, I became a 911 dispatcher at Saline County 911. And at that particular point, it was more for the adrenaline rush of being involved in something that could be as critical as being a first line responder to someone's emergency. Me being at Saline County 911 coincided with me working for a local volunteer fire department. And after a couple of years of being there, my career evolved and I moved on to other agencies. Ending my career, of course, with due to medical reasons with Pulaski County Sheriff's Office a couple of years ago, which was by far the best agency I've ever worked for. I think that these appreciation weeks are a lot of times overlooked, or let's think about what we do for an appreciation week in general. For law enforcement or police officer appreciation week, we change our Facebook profile picture or our cover photo, or post some nice poem or something like that to show our support and appreciation of police officers. We do the same thing for firefighters. 911 telecommunicators, we may or may not do the same thing. There is no denying that they don't receive the same recognition that police officers and firefighters and emergency medical professionals receive, which is understandable. It's not something that I agree with, but it's understandable because you don't see their faces. You don't see them outside of that little box that they're stuck in for 8, 10, 12 or more hours a day. So it's often easy to forget to mark that week for them, or to commemorate them for what they do until we need them the most. Being a 911 dispatcher initially was a job. It was a paycheck, if you could call it a paycheck. It was something that I thought was going to develop into something more. It was a starting point, a stepping stone for me to begin a career in fire service or a career in law enforcement, which is what I really wanted to do. And then this weird thing happened. I received a call on probably my third or fourth month doing the service about a lost child, and stayed on the phone with a frantic mother, and stayed on the phone and stayed on the phone and stayed on the phone, and was coordinating with officers to blast their sirens here, to blast their sirens there, and just to see if they could raise the child to come towards them or something like that. At the end of the day, they found the kid. And when they found the kid, I quickly discovered after hearing that relief come over that mother, that relief that cannot be described. It cannot be captured. I knew at that moment that this was not a job. Being a 911 dispatcher is not a job. And if you're a 911 dispatcher today, and you go to 911 to have a job, to get a paycheck, you've got to start looking for something else to do. I want you to be a 911 dispatcher, but I want you to see it for far more than a job. This is a career. This is a profession. This is a calling. People are predisposed to have the mentality to tolerate high stress situations. Some people. 911 dispatchers are some of those select few people. The calls can be frustrating, minuscule, a stolen lawnmower, a neighbor dispute over the property lines where a driveway runs, somebody stealing a trash can. Those are a good number of the calls. And then you advance a little further. Disturbances, people fighting, domestic disturbances. And then every single dispatcher has a few addresses that are memorized, and they can tell you exactly what that house looks like, exactly what kind of vehicles are parked at that house, the first names, the last names, the date of birth, the children, the extended family names of everybody that's in that house, because they've been there not 100,000 times, but probably 100,001 times. But you have to approach these situations as if it was your very first time. And then you have those very, very few occasions that you dread in your career in 911, where there's a lost child, or there is a mass casualty incident, a natural disaster, and things become chaotic is the only word that I know, but it's so far beyond what chaotic is. It's chaotic, but it is the most organized chaos that you can have. Everybody has a job, everyone has a responsibility, and suddenly everything kicks in. Everything that you know, every bit of knowledge that you have, everything that you've absorbed over however many years that you've been doing this job just start working again. And you do it. You do what you have to do. You get it done. You monitor 12 fire departments at the same time. You dispatch law enforcement to accident with injuries at the same time that you're trying to dispatch them to a fight, and at the same time you're trying to dispatch them to a power pole that's down, at the same time that you're trying to catch a traffic stop, because a traffic stop is a priority in the grand scheme of things. And you don't have any help with it because the other operator is trying to run 27 driver's licenses, 32 license plates, 12 criminal histories, and confirm 17 warrants within 10 minutes. "911 dispatchers are often overlooked. You are often misunderstood. You are often out of sight, out of mind. But something that I want every single 911 dispatcher and everyone that's not a dispatcher to understand and to listen to and to really, really grasp a hold of on days that you do need them and on the many, many thousands of days that you don't need them, is that a 911 dispatcher dialing 911 when you have an emergency, that's where everything starts. That's where everything starts. They have to be a counselor, a motivator. They have to be stern, yet gentle. They have to be quick and never miss a beat, and hear every single word that an officer says, who sounds like he's speaking in a completely different language because he has an adrenaline rush that's beyond anything that we could imagine. And we have to understand why he has that adrenaline rush. We don't know what situation he's in the middle of. We know what situation we've sent him to, but we don't know what situation we're seeing. He is seeing or she is seeing. Dispatchers, 911, I want you to remember every day that you get ready to head into that office, don that headset, answer that phone call, send out that first unit, sound that first alarm. Everything starts with you. The mother who calls because her child's not breathing. The accident on the side of the freeway with entrapment, and the car's on fire. The disturbance with weapons. The injured hiker. Everything starts with you. Your decisions in those moments of stress and anxiety determine the outcome of the rest of the lives of these people, and determine the outcome of the lives of the people who love them. The weight that you bear on your shoulders is insurmountable. thank God you're there. We appreciate you. We love you. We're glad that you're in the position that you're in. We're glad that you selected it. And I hope more than anything that you can look back on your years and at the end of your tenure, when you decide that it's time to go, time to retire and enjoy a little bit of life, that you can walk out somewhere and think, yesterday I changed 1,000 lives. Remember, it's a career, it's a profession. This isn't a job. So for 911 Appreciation Week, I was just going to share that little spiel. I don't know how appreciative it was, but I do appreciate you because I've been where you were for a long, long time. Just don't sit in that seat and ever expect thank yous or, any kinds of gratitude, because even though it's nice, the gratitude that you have comes from the successful outcome of the situation that you have resolved. Be the best that you can be. No one can ask for more than that. And just keep doing it. The world can't function without you. You're an essential part. You are a nucleus in the world of emergency services. And without you, we'd be in trouble. So thank you. Happy 911 Dispatcher Appreciation Week. Now, go answer that phone. Till next time.